What does it tell me to do? Hold on a
Okay,
second.
I'm recording. Okay, so I'm going to admit all who have joined in the waiting room. Where is it?
I can admit them.
Yeah,
Done.
I've done it. Yeah.
Oh, Christopher was in the waiting room too.
Oh,
Hey,
hi, Christopher.
hello. Yeah.
So Christopher is our coordinator for the engineering and architecture bridging program. Okay.
Good afternoon.
Hello. Good
Hello.
afternoon.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. We are about to start, but I guess there might be a few more people coming in. I can see that in the waiting room. Okay, they're coming in. Okay.
Pritam, I see here your namesake, Shrestha. Same
Where?
spelling.
Where?
In the middle.
Christopher,
Hi.
I'm
Hi,
here.
Anil.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, good. How are you?
I'm okay. Now you'll have the chance to listen to all 4 programs. I know you're applying for loans, so that's good.
It's a good opportunity for me.
Sure.
Which Shrestha is this, Christopher, you're mentioning?
Anil in the middle. Can you see? Wave your hand, Anil.
Did you wave, Anil?
Yes.
Okay, can you wave? Oh, there you are. Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So you're from Nepal?
Yes.
Yeah, I too. Me too.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. Yeah.
Okay.
And you are aspiring to join Christopher's program?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, let's give another 3 minutes. We'll start exactly at 5:04, because there are more coming in, and we are trying to admit them. So we'll start exactly at 5:04.
Agency setting.
And amongst the audience, may I request to mute your microphones when you are not speaking, so that we can have a less disturbed presentation. Okay, it's 4:05. So Rena and Kim also as well, you've joined there. So if you see anybody in the waiting room, please admit them. So we are going to start now. So Humber College Bridging Programs would like to welcome everybody here, the audiences and our guests from the 4 organizations. In this information that would be targeted to the audience here who are aspiring bridging program participants or for other training programs as well. So I would like to make a request in the beginning here that everybody who is not speaking, please mute your microphones so that any background noise that might be in your area will not be disturbing the presentations. And for the audience who are listening, if you have any questions in relation to any organization who are going to present there, I would like you to sort of put your questions in the chat box, which is being monitored by one of our colleagues, Thomas, there. And those questions will be taken up towards the end after all the 4 organizations have made their presentations. So welcome again, and we have the 4 organizations today, Achev, from which Cindy Taylor, you can wave your hand so that people may see that, will be presenting about the program there. And from Access Community Capital Funds, Faraz Kauri will be presenting. You can wave your hand from there. And from the Learning Enrichment Foundation, I think Seher Mohammed and Carolina, you can wave your hands, they will be presenting. And from Windmill Microlending, it is Sydney Cole who will be making the presentation. Is Wendy is also joined, right? And Wendy is also there, so you can wave your hands. Okay, so welcome again to everybody, and let me pass on the floor to Cindy, and you can share your presentation if you have on the screen as well. Yeah, there you are. Please go ahead, Cindy.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cindy Taylor. Just let me start this slideshow here. I'm actually from a rebranded organization from the Center for Education and Training to now it's referred to as Achev. This is the Foreign Credentials Recognition Loans Program, and I work as a career and training counselor with that program. The Foreign Credentials Recognition Loans Program is funded by the Government of Canada's Foreign Credentials Recognition Loans Program initiative in partnership with Meridian Credit Union. Sorry, just let me move my thing out of the way. Intended clientele for this program are internationally trained professionals and tradespeople, both regulated and non-regulated. The question that I get asked the most in this program is, do I have to be a regulated professional to participate or to be eligible in this program? Either way, if you are regulated or if you are non-regulated, or if you have work experience outside of Canada that qualifies you as a tradesperson in Ontario. So the program itself has a couple different features, okay? Our objectives are to facilitate the integration of internationally trained individuals into the Canadian labor market. What you see on the screen there is ITIs. So from here on, I'll be referring to ITIs as internationally trained individuals. What I do myself is support the process related to the foreign credentials assessment and recognition, and facilitate the accessibility of a loan to eligible individuals and to monitor the repayment process of the loan. As a career and training counselor, I provide ongoing one-on-one career counseling over the lifetime of the repayment period of the loan, which is a maximum of 4 years. To be eligible for this program, individuals have to be permanent residents, Canadian citizens, or convention refugees. They have to have obtained education and or related work experience in the skilled trades outside of Canada, and seeking to have their credentials recognized here in Canada, or if they've already undertaken the initiative to have their education completed. So what I mean by that is if you've already applied or if you have already had your education, your degrees and your work experience halfway started, then you can still qualify for this program. Or if you need career counseling around what the next steps are, that is also acceptable. The Foreign Credentials Recognition Loans Program loan features. So this loan can range anywhere from $1,500 to $15,000. Okay. We have a competitive interest rate, and the repayment starts 30 days after you've received the funds into your bank account. The interest rate is prime plus 2%. So for the moment, our interest rate is 4.45% in total. Repayment terms are from 1 to 4 years, depending on the amount that you are borrowing. And the options to save interest, this is a not tied in, it's not a, how do you say that? It's not a locked-in loan. You have the options of saving interest by making larger payments to pay off your loan sooner, or paying off the loan entirely if that is something that you can afford to do. The Foreign Credentials Recognition Loans Program expenses or eligible expenses are the qualification assessment fees, any of your association and examination fees, books and course materials, any short-term bridging programs, and travel expenses related to getting to and from your training, and living expenses associated to attaining your education during your study period. The Foreign Credentials Recognition Loans Program offers one-on-one career counseling. So what that means is that the majority of the individuals that I work with and that my coworkers work with are predominantly receiving career counseling at the moment. In the event that career
بالسلامة إن شاء الله كل زين.
Sorry, can I just remind everyone to mute their microphones, please?
In the event that an individual does require funds to complete their education or their assessment, the actual loan is there. Can we have individuals mute their mic at this point, please? There are career and training counselors available to assist you with finding a job in your targeted field. I work with a lot of individuals who really don't understand how their education and their work experience from another country can relate to the specific occupations here in Ontario and in Canada. Credential evaluation support, so helping you create that career plan and the learning plan that is associated and accumulated costs associated with having your education recognized. Developing a career action plan itself and the learning plan as well. Foreign Credentials Recognition Loans Program pathway involves contacting myself in this particular case. My information will be available at the end of my presentation. We complete an intake assessment, which involves collecting your contact information, your education background, and qualifying you for the program with the eligibility. If you're eligible and suitable for the loan, a one-on-one career and referral to Meridian Credit Union will be made if that's the process that you choose to take. If you choose to stay within the career counseling process, you can actually access the career counseling program without feeling obligated that you have to apply to the loan. As a part of the case management for this program, I follow up with the foreign trained individuals every 3, 6, and 12 months. So what that means is that if you are participating in the career counseling and decided that you're not applying for the loan, I can help you with, through this program, individual job search, career related search, and I do case manage those individuals. If you are going ahead with the loan, you will be working with me on a follow-up case management basis during the repayment period of your loan. Right, so contact information for me is listed here. My title is Career and Training Counselor for the Foreign Credentials Recognition Loan at Achev. My phone number is 647-394-6236, and it's ctaylor@achev.ca. If anybody has any questions at this time.
Cindy, maybe we can put all the questions at the end.
Sure.
Because as we suggested that they are going to put the questions in the chat box and then we'll go by one at the end. Okay, so you're done with your presentation, Cindy?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you very much, Cindy.
You're welcome.
So we may have more time later on for the question and answers. So now may I invite Fares Kauri, I hope I pronounced that name correctly, from Access Community Capital Fund to share
Close
your
enough,
screen.
yes.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, go ahead.
And everybody, just to confirm, everyone can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, thanks again for your time. Just wanted to go over our program very quickly here as detailed as possible. So today I'll be talking about the Foreign Credential Recognition Loan Program from our organization, Access Community Capital Fund. I'll be your presenter for today. My name is Fares Kauri. This is my email number. And please feel free to follow us on Twitter and check out our website whenever you have the chance. Just to go over the agenda quick here, just talk about briefly about Access and then talk about the Foreign Credential Recognition Loan Program and the eligibility and application requirements, the application assessment and approval process. And as Pritam said, at the very end, I'd be happy to answer any question you might have. So just to go over here, we are a registered charity and we help people facing financial barriers in the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area. And just to talk about our vision, we envision that all individuals in the GTHA are able to achieve financial security through sustainable employment and self-employment. Our location is in downtown Toronto, so Richmond and Spadina, although our current offices to many of us are at home, but this is our office location, and our service area is the GTA and Hamilton. So we do facilitate up to $15,000 for internationally trained professionals under the Foreign Credential Program. We also have another program called the Small Business Loan Program, which is up to $5,000, and if you might be eligible for another $10,000 if you pay off the first $5,000. But that's for another presentation. We also do info sessions, workshops, application assistance, financial and business coaching, but that's for the Small Business Loan Program. There's some career advising and counseling, again, with referral to partner agencies. So just to start here with the Foreign Credential Recognition Loan Program, this program is funded by the Canadian federal government, specifically the Ministry of Employment, Social Development Canada, or ESDC for short. So who's this program for? It is for internationally educated professionals, or IEPs, anyone with post-secondary academic occupational credentials obtained outside of Canada. So not necessarily university, it can be certificates, diploma and degrees. Anyone seeking to get back into their original profession, even a related profession, alternative career, that's also you might also be eligible to get a loan. And most importantly, anyone looking to advance their careers, improve their income, contribute meaningfully to the Canadian economy, which is the sole purpose of this program. So what can you use the funds for? Just a few examples here to name a few. So licensing, certification costs, licensing depending on which career you choose, courses and exams, credential assessments, membership fees. Some careers you have to pay membership fees every year, bridge training, books and books and other course material. You can also apply for living and travel allowances as long as it's associated with your training. I'm not going to name all these professions, but regulated and non-regulated professions do qualify. Just to name a couple here: nurses, dentists, physiotherapists, pharmacists, architects, engineer, and many more. So our interest rates are at 4.35%, which is prime plus 1.9. You have up to 4 years to repay the loan, and you can pay off the loan at any time with no penalties. I'll talk about the breakdown of the repayment after the slides. Now, as we are a charity, we do have a financial partner. Their name is Alterna Savings and Credit Union, so they disperse the funds on our behalf. The repayment does start 30 days after getting the loan, but then again, I will speak about this in the slide right after here. And as some of you might know, this loan does have the potential to establish if you're a newcomer, or improve your credit, of course, if kept in good standing. So here's the breakdown that I mentioned to you earlier. The total, that amount of time you have to pay off the loan, is 4 years. The first 15 months would be interest-only payments. So just to walk through as one of the examples here, let's take the $5,000 example here. At the 4.35%, 48 months, which is 4 years. The first 15 months, you'll be paying approximately, I would say around $18 a month for the first 15 months. And once those 15 months are over, you start paying principal and interest, which would be around $148 per month. Again, we won't just change the, we won't just convert the loan. Surprise, of course, we have to follow up with you, see how you're doing in the program, where you're at the stage of your career plan before any of this moves forward. Just to let you know about what kind of requirements we ask for here. So we do ask for a credit report and score from Equifax or TransUnion. Even if you're a newcomer, you just arrived, you don't have a credit score or report, you're still eligible to apply. Same thing applies for the notice of assessment. If you weren't in Canada last year, then you'd still be eligible to apply. And then your standard 2 copies of valid IDs, proof of address. And as this is the Foreign Credential Recognition Loan Program, we would require you to see your diploma, degree, or certificates that you obtained outside of Canada, even if those certificates are unrelated with what you want to pursue. Lastly, the details of the courses, associated costs. Just in January, we also help the clients. We do some workshops about understanding credit. How does credit impact? How does your credit system work in Canada? What things impact your score? What things don't? What's a hard credit check? What's a soft credit check? We'll also go through all of this with either one-on-one with the client or through monthly webinars as well. Also, to keep in mind that if you are approved for this loan, it will be reported to the credit bureaus as in any other credit facility you might have, such as your phone, internet, credit card, etc. So how do we take a look at how do we assess applications? It's not as simple as just, here's the application and here's the money. We also look at something called the character-based assessment, or the 5 C's. So we look at the character of the person, the honesty, integrity of the applicant, capability. Do you have relevant training or experience? Do you have the ability to repay the loan and manage the debt? How is your commitment like? Do you have the motivation to pursue the course that you want to apply for a loan for? And do you have a contingency plan? Nobody knew COVID will show up. So do you have like plan B in case And that's something we would like to just know about. And again, how does the character-based assessment help us? So we see how realistic your career plan is. And then, yes, we do ask for your credit. We do ask for your credit history from Equifax or TransUnion, but that's not the sole deciding factor. We also take everything else into consideration along with your application. So we do take into account your financial need and personal financial situation. We're sensitive to the deadlines. Depending when you need the money by, we'll try to see where the priority fits. And you might ask, how do we do this character-based assessment? This does include a virtual interview or face-to-face. We used to do that pre-COVID, but now it's strictly virtual. So just a quick 1, 2, 3 here of how the process goes. You submit your application with the supporting documents. Keep in mind that any missing documents might delay the processing, but once you submit all the documents and the applications are reviewed by myself or one of my colleagues. If everything is met, then we do the character-based assessment that I mentioned through our loan review committee. That will be virtually through Zoom, and they will make the decision on your application. If you're approved, your application will be dispersed, as I mentioned before, by our financial partner, Alterna Savings. So from step 1 to 3 should take around 2 to 3 weeks approximately. That's us in a nutshell, our Foreign Credential Recognition Loan Program. Thank you everyone for attending today. This is my name, my email. Feel free to visit our website and follow us on Twitter. Thank you very much, and I'll be happy to answer any questions at the end of the session today.
Okay, thank you, Faraz. So let's now go to the Learning Enrichment Foundation. Carolina, would you like to share your screen while Sahar, I think, is going to present it, right?
She's going to present the first half and I'll present the second half.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but
Go ahead.
absolutely. This is a partnership all the time.
Okay, great.
So good afternoon, everyone. I'll be sharing my screen in a second. Please let me know. Please let me know if you can see it.
Yes.
Perfect. I'm just going to make this full screen. So my name is Carolina Giraldo. I'm here today with my colleague Sahar Mohammed, and our manager is also here, Fernando Rivas. We are representing today the Learning Enrichment Foundation, but we will be using the short name LEF very often during the whole presentation because I think it's easier as well for all of us and for you to remember us. The first thing that we want to do today is first say thank you to Humber College for inviting us, for having us today. It is for us an honor to share the stage with these other 3 organizations and with the Humber College, just to share information that might be very useful for all of you. I just want to show you a little bit about who we are. So today we will be talking very briefly about the Learning Enrichment Foundation, or LEF, the services that we provide, and then we will focus on the program, which can sound a little bit similar to what Achev and Access have shared with you already. So the Learning Enrichment Foundation has been in the market for around 40 years. We are a non-for-profit organization, and we are honored to work with immigrants and with internationally trained professionals. Among all the services that we provide, we also provide language training, career exploration, job search support. We have youth programs, seniors as well, and mentorship. And among the newcomers services that we provide, we have the CITI program, or the support for internationally trained individuals. So right now I'm going to show you a very short video about LEF so you can have a better idea of who we are. And I hope this works. You will let me know. And let me know if you have sound, please.
We do.
Perfect, thank you.
The Learning Enrichment Foundation is an integrated response to our local community's challenges. We're a place of hope, but more importantly, we're a place of action and positive change. Change begins with our families, our children. Here at LEF, we support over 1,800 families in 30 neighborhoods to ensure their long-term success, a success that only professionally and lovingly delivered early learning can provide. That is the science. Our experienced educators focus on deepening children's relationships with nature and the outdoors, offering meaningful experiences for children, building resilience that will last a lifetime. Every single day, our dedicated client engagement teams support newcomers to Canada in finding their pathways forward in a new country, as well as supporting the broader community in navigating an ever-changing economy. Our programming is effective and central to our work. Our people, their integrity, their humility, their deep belief in the possibility of all, that is what drives our effectiveness. There is a spirit to LEF that is palatable, a spirit of the possible.
All right. Well, let's see. Okay. So I encourage you and I invite you to check our website. We have all our services listed there. We also have an employment website focusing only on job services and job opportunities. So maybe among the participants today, we have people that is not only looking for job, but also people who is willing to provide job to others. So we can do both things. We work with job seekers and with employers. You can also find there our calendar and you can check news, events, workshops. So now I'm going to give the floor. Oh, something before I forget, of course. As all of you and all the other agencies sharing the stage today, we have moved virtual. So we are connecting with all our clients via Zoom, Microsoft Teams, cell phone, text messages, emails. So we are always open. And I think this is one of the beauty of the technology, that you can reach us in from different means and almost like open 24/7. All right, so now I'm going to give the floor to my dear colleague Sahar, and she will be explaining us a little bit more about this program, the loan program.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Carolina. Again, just like my other colleagues from other organizations, the loan is funded by the government of Ontario. I won't repeat the same thing. So the loan itself is up to $15,000 for immigrants with credentials obtained outside of Canada. The supports that we offer are information session workshops, networking events, an application assistant, and career advising. You want to go to the next slide? Carolina, next slide. Thank you. Okay, so the Foreign Credential Recognition Program is for licensing, certificate, courses, exams, qualifications, and credential assessment. We also provide professional accreditation, association, and member fees for bridging program, books, and other course materials. So you can use up to $15,000 for that. Next slide. So the loan itself, it's an affordable and low interest rate of 4.45%. So it's prime +2, and it's up to 4 years to repay. The loan is distributed by DUCA. So that's the institution that we would be working with. So next slide. Okay, so the eligibility is a Canadian citizen, permanent resident, convention refugee. Have available funds for cash flow to meet the interest only payment during the training phase. Residents of Toronto, you have to be 18 years old or older and can legally work in Canada. Individual in financial need, up to date with the Canadian taxes, and not undergoing bankruptcy or consumer proposal. Next slide. So the professions, just like my colleagues, it's regulated or non-regulated professions, so including trades and many more, all of these and many more. Next slide. That application requirement, you would need to, of course, contact LEF and then complete the application form. We would need to get a credit report and score, and your most recent notice of assessment from the Canadian Revenue Agency, 2 copies of valid IDs, proof of address, and copies of your diploma, degrees, certificate that are outside of Canada. And then, yeah. So we provide other supports included in the program. So it's a one-on-one customized support, assistance throughout the whole entire credential process, education, training, and bridging program exploration, a learning plan, career strategy creation, life and career coaching, financial empowerment coaching, and a wraparound settlement and employment support. So initially, when a client contacts me, we would have a one-on-one, and we would explore all options in terms of a holistic view, in terms of whether they want to continue in their education or the licensing process or alternative careers, all around they want to start something different. And that is what we provide. And that's it. Questions? And one more. And I just always like to end my presentations. Sometimes the smallest steps in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. So tiptoe if you must, but take the first step. So today would be the first step to moving forward. That's it. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you, Sahar. So with the questions, if anybody has, again, I requested there, you can put it on the chat box. And now we move on to Windmill Microlending. Sydney, the floor is yours.
Unmute myself. Sorry, everyone. Okay. Just to start off, I know you've all heard a number of presentations today and you're listening to a lot of information, so I'll try to be as short and concise as possible. I represent and am the key, I'm the manager of key partnerships here at Windmill Microlending. Like some of the other organizations you've heard from today, we offer microloans.
I'm on a Zoom call actually. I have to go to Rabat to buy Korea.
Sorry, can you please mute your microphones, please? If you are not speaking, please mute your microphones. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
No worries. Okay. So we also are a loan program offering up to $15,000 to skilled immigrants and refugees to pay for licensing and training needs that you have to restart, start, or change your careers or advance your career in Canada. Unlike some of the other programs that you've encountered here today, we are actually a national program, so not limited to Ontario or the GTA. We have lending licenses across the country, an office in Calgary and Toronto and Montreal. So even if you should start your program with us, you can finish your loan program with us no matter where you are. If you find yourself sort of beginning in Ontario and finding that you have an opportunity outside of Ontario or outside of the GTA, we are able to follow you wherever you apply to us from in Canada. And more to the point, if you live outside of Ontario or the GTA, but you want to take a course at Humber and you're in Saskatchewan, we can help you as long as, as long as you're obviously apply. But so we don't have any restraints in terms of our your regional access to us.
Sydney, could I just ask you to change it to slideshow?
Oh, what did I do? Yeah, sure. Absolutely. That's silly. Sorry, everybody. That doesn't make it very easy to see. There we go. So I'm going to come over here. Some of the other organizations that you've heard from today work with either a credit union, I think mostly credit unions. We don't work with a bank or a credit union. We work independently of both of those types of financial institutions, which allow us to do things like offer lower interest rates, which I can describe to you a little bit later, and to offer you a bit more flexibility in terms of the repayment plans and how you manage your schedule with us. And like the other presenters today, you do not have to have a credit rating here in Canada when you apply with Windmill. You don't have to be employed. You do not necessarily have to have an income at the moment. You don't need a co-signer, and you don't need to have an asset or a house, or something against which you're going to present for the loan. So for Windmill, you don't have to have a credit history. In fact, you can begin to have that credit rating or have that credit history with us, as is true of our other sort of presenters here today. And this is always, as our last presenter said, this is a good stepping stone. This is a good jumping off point where you can develop your credit rating, and then once you've repaid our loan, be able to take that credit rating to a lending institution and say, you know, hey, I've made it, I paid off my loan, and now I'm interested in doing something like buying a car or a house, and you've had that stepping stone with Windmill in order to be able to do that. So our eligibility criteria are much the same as our other presenters today. You must be living in Canada, but in our case, it doesn't matter where. You must be internationally trained, and I love the way that in our case too, that applies to certificates, diplomas, and degrees outside of Canada, not necessarily that you have a professional designation. You need to be a permanent resident, a Canadian citizen, a provincial nominee or protected person or convention refugee, and have skills or experience related to your career goal, which in this case is in the IT sector. So a Windmill loan can cover, again, I think a lot of us kind of cover off many of the same things. So this will include your tuition, your training fees, any licensing or qualifying exams that you might want to take afterwards. If you find that your English language skills are something that you need to improve on at the same time as you're taking your IT training through Humber, that's something we can help you with as well. Obviously, all your books, course material, and equipment is also covered by Windmill. We would also cover things like a laptop or software programs that you may need that aren't covered in sort of the materials of your training program, but that you need to update in order to take them. Again, professional association fees, and also if you find that you are towards nearing the end of your bridging program and you've been offered, for example, an employment opportunity outside of the GTA or even outside of Ontario, we can also help you plan for and pay for that move should you need to do that. Living expenses are covered, and also caregiving expenses are covered here at Windmill. And that's something we offer for, you know, lots of parents and caregivers of family members or elderly family members, where you find you're divided between trying to study and caring for others in your home. And so if you can offset that burden, we'll help you to do that. I think one of the areas that, well, anyway, our repayment terms, the maximum amount of time you would have to repay a Windmill loan is 4 to 5 years, depending on the length of your training program. And I'll just quickly describe that in a moment. But our interest rate is 3.95%, which I think you'll find is pretty competitive. I do want to mention that, you know, it's a good idea. You've had a lot of information today, and it's a good idea to sort of review it, study it. One of the most compelling, I think, points in all of our presentations is that interest rate, because, you know, the difference in $100, $200, $300 a month, $300 a month in terms of a repayment for you and your household expenses is going to make every bit of difference. And I would argue that when you're looking to apply, and if you think, I'm not sure which organization to apply with, I will say to you, the more times you apply for a loan, that will, as the other presenter said, it will impact your credit rating. So I would encourage you to do your homework first, look at the various programs that we've talked about today and or other ones, and then make a decision, because the more applications you submit, the more that will impact your credit rating. And I'm not sure that everybody is aware of that. So this just gives you some background in terms of Windmill's scope and how long we've been around. We've been around since 2005, and we've discovered that our clients typically increase their income by 3.4%. I think it's actually higher than that at this point, but 3.5, and it's not percent, it's times. So clients coming to us improve their average income by that much by the time they reach their career goal, which enables them to sort of find employment in a whole other level, either within your sector or outside of your sector, but moving up sort of that chain of salary expectations. Our repayment rate here at Windmill is 98%, which is actually astonishing given the last year that we've been through. And that is a testament not only to our clients, but also the very personalized relationships that we have with you. We've approved $45 million in loan to date, and we've approved roughly 6,300 loans. And I'm only giving you these numbers just to show you just how long we've been around, how well established we are, and how well-oiled all of our sort of inner machinery here at Windmill is. And I think also just as a way to highlight the success of the relationships that our clients have with our client success coaches, our intake coaches, just knowing that it's a relationship that sort of holds you from beginning to end. And I think that's what allows us and has allowed us in the past to be so successful. So in terms of being in touch with me, if you look at, if you get a chance, I would encourage you all to go to the Windmill website, have a look at it, take the eligibility quiz, which is on there. You'll know within seconds if you're eligible. If you feel like you're eligible and you've reviewed all of the information you've had today and you want to apply, I would go to info@Team Windmill. But if you have any other questions about what you've heard about today, I will please contact me. My information is there and I'll put it in the chat when I'm finished. But I just will say that, you know, Windmill, like a lot of the other presenters here today, offers a lot of support that goes beyond just the financial support. We do financial training as well with Prosper, which will help you do, you know, budgeting, understanding banking in the Canadian context, what it means to have a credit rating, what it means to be lending. So a lot of that same financial planning, but also just know that you're going to be sort of part of our family for as long as you're with us. And that's what I wanted to leave you with here today. So I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay, thank you, Sydney. So we don't have too many questions in the chat, as I can see. Thomas, if you can go through the chat and see which questions are addressed to anybody. There might be common questions for all presenters as well.
Yeah, we have 3 questions. The first one was directed to Cindy. So the question is from Rafael. And Rafael's question was, Cindy, please, how long does it take to process the loan?
Cindy?
Sorry, I'm trying to unmute my mic.
Okay.
So processing the loan application just is a part of completing my intake. And once I've intaked the person, the loan application process takes about 2 days to complete. And then it's about 7 to 10 days, depending on how quickly or how effectively the information is provided to the credit union. So on average, the most I've seen is 10 days. The minimum I've seen is 4 days.
Okay, perfect. The next question was from Nikhil Mahale. So Nikhil's question was, I believe Nikhil asked this question during Sydney's presentation. So the question was, how much amount will be approved to buy a laptop or desktop?
Sydney?
That just depends on, you can roll that into the total amount that you're borrowing. So if you are looking to pay some of your tuition, but you have the added expense of a laptop and the software to go with it that you need, just include that in whatever it is that you want to apply for. And there's no limit on that, as long as, you know, we look at your overall, you know, financial information and your learning plan. Will take all of that into consideration, but there's no limits on any one portion of the loan or how you spend that money.
Okay, great. And I also just want to open it up because I think this may be a slightly general question. So I just want to open it up to the other panelists as well, in case the similar question might apply to your service as well. So maybe we can start with Saher, and then we can go to Faris afterwards.
In regards to the laptop?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is added to the loan component. So if you do need a laptop or some kind of software that you need to purchase for example, if you're in IT, we do add it to the whole overall expenses. So courses, books, software, it just depends on what you need at that moment to actually transition. So we would be able to add that too.
Okay,
perfect. So may I just, would it be correct to say that it is not a fixed amount, depending upon the type of laptop you need for the training? It may range maybe even from $1,000 to maybe even $2,500 or something like that, but it is wrapped up in the overall loan application, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And Faris, is that the same at Access Community Capital Fund as well?
Pretty much, yeah, that's the same. As long as it's associated with your courses, the course that you want to take, then absolutely you can pay for course material, books, and even some living expenses as well.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. So the next question from Samir is just, can we get all of the slides that were presented here, or at least the contacts of all the 4 financial institutes by email? So I see everyone's put in their email addresses in the chat. Faris, if you want, you can add your email address as well. But yes, we will be sharing the recording of this presentation with everyone. So yeah, so you'll have all of the presentations with you. The next question is from Gursharan. The question is there some kind of forgivable loan, or do we have to repay the full loan? So maybe we can start in the same order that we went. So maybe we can start with Cindy.
Sydney.
Oh, no, this is a personal loan. There is no loan forgiveness. If you borrow $5,000, as is the example, the interest rate that we mentioned would be applied and you would pay back the full amount.
Sahel.
So yeah, the same thing, but again, something to keep in mind is that when we do the assessment, we make sure that we look at the fact that you might be working or looking for employment. So we will make sure that you have some type of support that will get you to find employment to be able to repay back. So that's why the services, we have employment services plus the city program. So it's both combined together to support you to make sure that you're not in debt.
And I see Faris nodding as well. So I'm guessing this is the same across the board. So it's
Yeah, I
same
would
thing
say
for
the same thing, that we have a grace period of 3 months in between the time you finish your learning plan and when you need to begin to repay the interest plus the principal of the loan. And we do offer some degree of flexibility. If you need to rearrange the scheduling of the repayments, absolutely we can work with you in that way, but none of the loan is not repayable and or necessarily forgivable, but we can look at sort of how flexible and agile we can be around challenges and things that arise for you, for sure.
I would echo the flexibility statement that Sydney made also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would say that, I mean, the loan principal amount after the grace period, you don't have to pay in full. That is also in installments, right? Right. Okay.
Yeah. I think you can be paying your loan back though up to 5 years with Windmill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and ours is up to 4 years. And again, it's reviewed every couple of reviewed every quarter, I think, with Duca to actually make sure that you're able to actually make those payments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good afternoon, guys. Sorry, this is Fernando from LEF. I just want to point out something. And here in this conversation, if I may, talking about a specific question like the laptop, I'm thinking about what happens if I cannot pay things like that. I think for us at LEF, and for sure for many of the organizations, one of the paramount things here is the plan. At LEF, and again, as also some other organizations, the focus for us is not the loan. We don't earn, or we don't depend on the loan to survive as an organization. So the focus for us is the plan. So I will invite all the participants here to make sure that the plan is right, and making a good plans will guarantee the success. So it's important to ensure the next step that you are taking, also taking into consideration all the financial possibilities that you might have. Part of the plan that we do with our clients actually to review, is the loan the actual right tool for me, because there might be other options. For some clients, actually working extra hours might be the option. For other clients, finding bursaries or finding other financial means might be the option. So every client is different. So in your case, if you are decided to go to a career, make sure that you're going to be successful as that's the career that you're taking. If you are taking this type of courses, you will see how the success rate is, how the people is working. So be confident that you don't need to worry about paying back a loan and things like that, because it's an investment. It's not a money that you're spending, it's actually an investment in the future. Just thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Fernando.
Nicely said. Yeah.
That's
so
where bridging programs come in.
Right.
I just want to point out that I think everybody, all of you should know that every single panelist and every single organization represented here really has done a lot of work to make sure that our organizations, our loan programs, our supportive, our wraparounds, all of the ways that we interact with you are built in such a way with your best interests in mind. And no matter which group you go with, know that we all care deeply about you as individuals and your outcomes and your successes. And I think that can be spread across all of our panels. And so just, I don't want you to worry or be anxious or have anxiety that you're going to pick that, you know, one of us is not going to look after you as well as the other. I think we all have a deep caring for people. And so just be confident in that.
Thank you for that, Sydney. Sorry.
Have a,
And
Christopher, you had a hand up.
Thomas, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So most of the loan organizations require a reference, as I understand. So a newcomer who's been here for 1 month, 2 months, 6 months might struggle in that area. How will you address that, the loan organizations?
We
I
don't
can
require
start.
reference.
Okay. You
Just
okay?
short answer.
Okay.
But no, but please go ahead. Sorry for this.
So Fernando, thank you. So for us, yeah, we do require reference. So even if they don't have it here, perhaps they have a reference from professional reference from back home. As long as they're accessible by email, that's completely fine as well.
And if I could just ask, how long are you expected that the reference knows the applicant? Because I've had students ask me to be a reference, and of course I have no problem with that. But I just wanted to know how long we need to know the applicant for to be a reference.
I mean, for us, there's no certain time limit as long as they know and the applicant has preferably informed the reference that I'm putting your name down as a reference. So expect, you know.
Okay.
Do any of the?
Yeah. Sorry, for
Go ahead, Cindy.
Achev foreign credentials, we initially, yeah, we were asking for references, but at this point we are not. At this point, we complete the character assessment and base our information on what the client has told us. The career counseling process, depending on how long our participants have been, they can use us as a character reference as well. The information usually is collected over anywhere from a 4-week to 6-week period. I think we would qualify as a good reference as well. But no, Meridian doesn't ask us for references.
Okay, and Windmill?
I just put it in the chat. We don't ask for references.
Okay.
Same here. We do
Thank
that.
you.
Okay, Thomas, next question. Thomas? Are you there?
I don't think there's any other questions in the chat box.
There is, so let me read that out. From Ridamya. So the question is, if the amount we need is less than $5,000, does that impact or reduce the percentage interest? Anybody you can take up, yeah, Sydney?
For Achev,
or Achev, yeah.
Yeah, for Achev, it any amount that you buy, the interest rate stays the same.
Same with the other organizations, I suppose, right?
Same for Access, yes.
Yeah. So the next question is, when is the ideal time for applying? Before we start the course or in mid-course? I would say that in our cases where the bridging programs are concerned, because you have to pay the tuition fees before you start the program. So the logical answer is that you have to start applying for it much in advance.
That is the case. And what I also want to add to that is a lot of the times, particularly if it's a licensed profession, the fees would have to be paid sometimes a year in advance. So if you are planning on pursuing your regulated profession here in Ontario, the process is a matter of applying to the licensing process, getting approved, paying the tuition. So you could easily be a year in advance of your date starting. But also what I have found as well is the prep four-year licensing exam requires a lot of application and a lot of attendance, and then writing the exam as well. So you could easily be applying to the loan a year before you actually pay the cost of your education and licensing.
Yeah. So, well, I would like to clarify here,
Yeah.
the bridging programs at Humber are short-term bridging programs, and these are not licensing programs. So in the case of bridging programs at Humber, you have to apply way in advance, maybe 3 months in advance, 2 months in advance, or 1.5 months in advance. So it won't be a full year in advance in our case as such. Anybody else would like to respond to that? Other organizations there?
Yeah, so for us, it would be the earlier, like as soon as you know you want to, start getting integrated into the job market or licensing process, I would definitely recommend contacting us, because then you have a full picture of what you want to do, whether it's going to take you a year to pay off the, the licensing fee or something like that. It's better you have a solid plan, so you have an overview of everything. So the earlier, the better for you.
Okay.
Sorry,
Sorry. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I would say the same is true for us, that coming to us before you start your training or your program is probably best. But, always bearing in mind that if you do come to us and you say, okay, here's what I think I need. If you get partway through and say, I didn't count on that, I didn't know about this piece, always know you can come back and reevaluate and look again at what it is that you need.
Yeah, thanks, and Sydney. That was sort of my question, because I've had situations where students don't apply before they, they don't apply before they start, and then my program is 21 weeks, and then they run into, maybe they've lost their survival job and need some assistance with their living expenses. So at that point, they could still apply, correct?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. At any point, they can apply with us.
Yeah, I would also like to mention here, I think Christopher is hand up. Just let me make a remark here. Each of the organizations you normally will be looking for, when the candidates apply for the loan, you are looking for an admissions offer letter from the training program, right? So in that sense, before you apply to the, it doesn't mean that you have to wait until you get the admissions offer, but make sure that you have enough time that you get the admissions offer and also go for the application with the loan providers. Okay. Yes, Christopher.
So yeah, everybody heard lots of financial information, but there is one more. Those in the bridging programs, you probably heard about the OBPEP, which is a bursary available through the bridging programs. So there is a context here with the loan programs. I'm not sure, Pritam or Rina, we can speak about this, because sometimes you get questions, can I get both? Which one I should get?
Yeah, we will come back to that in a later. So let's first answer the questions from the audience there. So there's also a question here. I think it is a similar answer, I suppose, but it said, does the percentage interest change depending on the amount we return? Is it fluctuating? No, it is not, right?
No.
Right. Okay.
No, but there's also no penalty if you pay off your loan faster than you thought you would.
Right.
So just, yeah.
Right. And another question, does the amount go to the college or gets deposited in an individual's account?
Ours goes directly to the client, and then you pay Humber on your own, because we will disperse an amount that we don't deposit money into the educational institute accounts. No, that comes directly from you.
From Achev, it's the same. Achev foreign credentials. To answer that other question that was in the chat, this is not a line of credit. It's a loan from Achev. So what that means, as a personal loan, it would go directly to the individual, not to the learning institution.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say same for access. You have to give it to you, and then you pay off the institution. But if I may just backtrack here for a little bit regarding the admission letter,
Yes.
Yes, preferably we would, for access, would like to see the admission letter, but there are some things you want to do career-wise where you have to pay and then you'll get that admission. So sometimes if you don't have that, we would ask you to just send us information about the course, right? Like the website link, something that shows us like, okay, this is what I'm applying for. It's right here on this website, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
That's a very good point,
good point.
Ferris.
Right. And Fernando, is it the same with the LEF?
Yeah, it is.
Yes, sorry, thanks, Sahar. Yes, it's the same for us. And also regarding what Christopher mentioned, I just want to point it out that is one of the things that we do with our clients initially is to explore other financial options that they might have available that will be better for the particular case. And again, it will be case by case. That's why I invite people who's interested in these alternatives contact to the organization that they feel comfortable with, ask for their options and start working on their plan. That's my suggestion.
Okay, thank you. There is a question from Moshumi to Sahar, Cindy, and Faris. Is it possible for someone who lives outside of GTA to apply for the loan?
Absolutely. From Achev, yes. You don't have to reside in GTA as long as you're in Ontario.
Okay. Sahar?
So ours is the GTA because of the financial institution.
I see. Okay. And Faris?
So us as GTA and Hamilton, but GTA depending, I mean, if you're right outside the GTA or close to the GTA, that's completely fine. But that's basically what we cover.
So there's another question here, say, so for most of the vendors or the loan organizations will decide the eligibility based on the credit score and other variables, not dependent on your CRA return?
So if I may start, guys.
Sure.
So we do look at the credit report. We do look at we do look at many other, we look at the whole picture. It's not just, this is your credit score and just at the score and therefore that's it, you're rejected or accepted, right? So we do look, yes, when we look at the credit report, we look at what's on hand right now, what's your how much debt you're in and how much are you paying back your credit cards on time, and then we look at the character, the motivation, all of that stuff together. That will determine the whether you're approved or not for the loan.
Okay, anybody else?
Yes, so that would be the same thing for us. We just want to make sure that the client is in a good position when they start until they end, to the end. So we want to make sure if they are in debt, we work with them. We actually have financial coaching that will assist them if they need help to adjust their credit or make sure that they can, get approved by the loan. So we work with them in order to make sure that they're in a better position.
Yeah, we do the same thing. And I don't think, again, every panelist here, we're not here to put you at greater financial risk. None of us is going to push you into a place where your financial burden or risk will be too high. And in fact, coming to Windmill does not make it 100% approved loan. I think all of us would say that, again, having your best interests at heart, we're not going to put any of you at financial risk, and we'll follow you along to make sure that's not happening and try to be responsive and flexible with you, because that's not an outcome that works in your favor or, quite frankly, ours. But more to the point, we want to help you succeed and not push you into a debt load that is unrealistic.
Couldn't have said it better, Sydney.
Yes. Yeah, that is very well said. The same here. I know for me at Achev, I've worked with individuals, one particular individual I'm remembering offhand, for 4 months before they could actually even qualify for the loan. So it's taking the best interest and working with individuals if they have some concerns.
Okay, so there's, I think, another question here. This might have been addressed in the current answers. It says to the presenters, what if applicants that are yet to get their notice of assessment from CRA or are in the process of filing taxes? Are they still eligible, and what's the workaround for this?
That is a really good question. I have not heard since I've been with Windmill that if you're in the process of filing your taxes, that's problematic. I think, of course, we'll look at your credit rating, your Equifax score to date, and get a sense of where you're at today. And I think that's where we would start from.
Okay. Anybody else on that?
There are so many other indicators of your financial health rather than the CRA assessment or notice of assessment. I think, you know, with all of the other information required, you wouldn't even necessarily need to apply that notice of assessment if you've provided all of the relevant information required.
Okay. Yep. Thank you. I guess, I mean, there might be cases that where it's a total newcomer who hasn't had the chance to file his taxes at all yet, right? So, I mean, there's in such situations, I think there are other factors that you are taking into consideration when you are considering the loan application. Okay. Yeah, I think there is no more questions here on the list. If we have missed your question in the chat, please open your mic and unmute your mic and please put the question verbally as well. Anybody has a question? Gold Rock? You want to speak,
Hi,
Gold Rock?
sorry, I joined late.
Sorry?
Yeah, this is Dami. Yeah, this is Dami speaking.
Oh, Damilare, you want to ask a question? Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I joined late, so I didn't get a lot of information about this. But your last questions actually solve it all because I'm a new immigrant. I got in barely 15 days ago.
Oh.
So I'm actually not interested in much loan, but in case I will need it, I just need to understand how I'll fit in since I don't have a credit score yet, though I'm ready to get my credit card. So, you know, how this will fit in for me, how payments can be flexible. And aside from that, I need to know the pros and cons of getting a loan.
Okay. Anybody, first taker?
Oh my goodness, the pros and cons of taking a loan. That's a big question. I think really it has to do with how comfortable you are with carrying some debt, but really making that decision informed, you know, by speaking to either us or any of the other organizations you want to go to and being very clear about what the repayment schedule is, what the interest rate is, what the terms of the loans are. I think it depends on your own level of comfort with carrying debt, but also I would argue that, you know, one of the reasons to do this is because you are investing in you're investing in your future. And I think I really like to sort of look at it in those positive terms and not just, you know, when we talk about pros and cons, what 5 years down the road is your game plan? What's your goal? And if this stepping stone can help you get there, I think that's a big pro.
Yeah, Cindy.
Yeah, I think when it comes to pros and cons for someone who is so new to Canada and to Ontario, is that if you are looking to establish your credit here in Ontario, either one of the foreign credential programs will help you establish that, as well as we're not looking entirely. I know for me, I don't necessarily look at how long you've been in Canada, but with the character assessment, it's based on your initiative. How motivated are you to pay back what you've borrowed, and how motivated are you to complete your education, and what, you know, those benefits would be to you. So there's a lot more in play than just the benefits of a financial loan. If you can, you know, have like he just said that He didn't need a financial loan yet. So that's the determining factor. When you go along and you find out what exactly is involved in your education assessment and recognition, I think a lot of individuals, I know personally for me, when I work with individuals, are not aware of how costly that can be. So one of the benefits of having these loan options from all of our providers is that you have the option of going to someone and asking for help when you need it.
Okay. Yes, Sahar.
Just to add in, it's very important for a newcomer to have financial confidence. And that's one of the key things that we do provide is financial confidence, because it's better to know what's available for you and the options that are available for you to make the correct decision. And part of that, we don't offer the loan option right away. We offer a learning plan that will give you the overview of all the options that are available and choosing the path that is suitable for you, either in the short term or long-term goals. So you need to identify what those goals are, whether it's like a year from now or 2 years, but you need to explore your options and shop around. That's very important for a newcomer, and be confident in terms of talking and asking financial questions, because again, it's something new and we don't have that. There's a stigma behind loans and line of credits and stuff like that. But moving forward, you should write the questions down and ask those questions to whoever you choose to, go with, and that will give you a bit more confidence on which pathway to go with. So.
Sorry, if I could.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Sorry, if I could just add from a coordinator's perspective, one of the pros is some of these programs that you're looking to go into are very intense. They're the .NET program and a lot of the other programs every evening plus Saturdays. Some have courses on Sundays, and many of you might be planning to hold down a survival job, but until you come into the program, you don't realize how intense it is and how hard it is to work from 9 to 5 every day and then come to class from 6 to 9 and then have assignments and exams. So one of the big pros from my perspective is that it eases the pressure and stress off of you. It's an alternate to, killing yourself in a survival job while trying to study and, launch your professional career. So it's a really good alternative.
Totally agree with Rena. And in fact, you don't necessarily, the question was, if you don't need the loan, when do you come to us? If you don't need the loan for your tuition, but you do need the loan for your living expenses while you're not killing yourself trying to take the course, then that's a perfect reason to come for a loan. If you need childcare paid for while you're studying, because that will help you, it's in this intensive program that you're going to be in, then that's a reason to come to us for a loan. It's about what you need. And it doesn't necessarily even have to be the tuition itself. It's exactly what Rena's talking about.
Okay, I think there was somebody who was trying to speak. I don't know whether it was the presenters.
Yes, I was the one. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So yeah, they've actually hit the nail on the head, and I've gotten a bit of bulk information. Like, this is bulk information. We have people from different institutions talking about the same thing. But I have another question to ask. Okay, in terms of credit score, with your loan app, your credit score, let's say for instance, you're taking a loan for $10,000 and you're paying every month. Will that impact your credit score?
You're paying the interest every month. Will that impact your credit score? Is that your question?
Yes, please.
Yeah, as long as you are paying it, your credit score is good. It'll be, in the positive side. If you don't pay, then that might be affected.
And you're actually building your credit in Canada, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Because you haven't had a loan here before. So if you get a loan and you pay it off monthly, then you're building your credit score so that you then have strength when you apply, for a car loan or any future loans.
Right. So here, I think we're actually near the end of our allotted time. So I just would like to mention here, as all the presenters mentioned, I think when you take a loan from these organizations, you can pay back the loan, the principal amount, at any time you want to without any penalty. Okay, so you take a loan and you got a job within the 3 months, you're still in the program as well, and you don't want to pay any more interest, you just go back and say that, hey, here, I have this money that I had taken from you, I'm going to give it back, I'm paying back right away. They will accept it happily, and your credit score will be also good as well, right? So this is not like any other loan which may have penalties if you pay in advance. Okay. So, and with respect to one more thing about the bursary grant that my colleague Christopher mentioned earlier on, that bursary grant application only takes place, as you may have heard us from our particular information sessions, it is after you have paid the tuition fees and enrolled into the program. It might be about 3 to 4 weeks afterwards. Number one. Number two, having applied for that bursary program, there is no guarantee that you will get it, because it is dependent totally on your financial need, your household income, and other factors that might be coming into picture, right? And number three, the bursary program may be delayed in general, in the sense that we have these bursary funds, the college have to receive first from the government before the college is able to grant those bursaries to those who are eligible. Okay, Rena, you had something to say?
Yeah, I was just going to add to that sometimes you're finished the program and you're still waiting for your bursary, right? So they can work in tandem. You know, you can apply for a loan to help you pay Humber, and if you qualify for the bursary and you get reimbursed at some point, you can always pay off your loan with your bursary money. So they can work together if you qualify.
Right. Okay, so I think we should wrap up now. Thank you very much for everybody, and all the prospective candidates for the loan programs. If you are really, if you still have more questions out there, please do write to the respective organization representation here. And we will also try to make this recording available for those who have joined late, because I do see one person mentioning that whether they can access this afterwards. So we will try to make that available through our website. And thank you very much, Cindy, Fares, Fernando, Sahar, Carolina, Sydney, and Wendy from all the 4 organizations for your time today to present this for the benefit of our prospective candidates for the bridging programs. And I mean, as far as these loans are concerned, as that has been conveyed to all of you, it's not just paying for the bridging programs tuition fees, but there might be other costs that may be involved, including living expenses as well. So with that, thank you very much, and wish you all a very good evening. Bye-bye.
Well, hold on. Just wanted to say one thing before you're all off. Thank you to the presenters. That was a great deal of information in a short period of time. So thank you. And I also wanted to say to all the prospective students, if you haven't already signed up for an information session and you're interested in supply chain, IT infrastructure, .NET developer for software developers, and engineering, we have information sessions coming up this week. Supply chain is tomorrow. Engineering is April 14, and IT and .NET is on April 8th. So you can go to our website, new to Canada at humber.ca, and you can sign up for a bridging session. I can put that in the chat box. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Nice meeting you.
Yep. Nice meeting you. Yep.
Thank you, Pritam sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Fernando.
Thank you, Pritam.
Bye.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.